Hello, Toastmasters.
Good morning.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Lisa Thresher, and I am from the Region 7 U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Now, Region 7 encompasses Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, and Kansas. I am coming to you from Lenexa, Kansas, to speak with you about lead. Now, before I go into the meat of the presentation, I'll give you a quick background of where this speech is going. So first, I'll give you a little bit of information of why I'm here, why I'm speaking with you, a little bit of information on lead, then lead in St. Joseph, Missouri, and then wrapping up with some resources and how we can move forward. And just so you're aware, most of the content from this presentation is coming from this book. This is EPA's book, Protect Your Family from Lead in Your Home. So this was created not only by EPA, but also by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and also the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. So this is the 2013 version, but online there is a 2017 version, which I will provide to you at the conclusion of this presentation. So why am I here speaking with you? Why am I talking about lead? My boss, Jim Gulliford, the lead for Region 7 EPA, has made lead a priority. So for the 4 years that Jim Gulliford will be lead of EPA Region 7, he set these 3 priorities, which are land revitalization, agriculture, and lead. So Jim put together a task force of EPA folks to go out and spread information about lead awareness. And I am on this task force, and so when hearing this goal of spreading lead awareness, I thought about Toastmasters. I am a Toastmaster, and what better group to engage with than folks who are driven and specifically working to improve their communication. So this is why I'm here speaking with you today. So lead, why do we care? Why is this a priority? The main reason are the health issues associated with lead. A small amount of lead can cause a giant impact, especially on children ages 0 to 6, and then also pregnant women, but adults can also be impacted by lead. So for children, health issues could be slowed growth, or behavior problems, or nervous system damage, or kidney damage, to name a few. There are additional health issues. For adults, if a woman is pregnant and exposed to lead, there could be issues with the fetus, also high blood pressure, also nervous system damage coming from lead. And again, there are some more. These are just a few. So what are the sources of lead? Where are you getting the lead from? So buildings that were made before 1978, many of them have lead-based paint in these buildings. So these could be homes, these could be schools, these could be pretty much any kind of building that is pre-1978. And so this lead paint could be inside or also outside. And so if the lead paint is inside, and if any renovations are going on, and if precautions aren't taken, lead can get into the air, and you can breathe in the lead dust, or also the lead dust can settle on food preparation surfaces, and through eating the food you can be exposed to lead that way. Outside the building, if the paint is flaking off or chipping, the paint chips can get into the soil or the grass, and if there's kids playing outside and if they're putting their hands in their mouths, they could be eating the paint chips. So these are some ways to get exposed to lead. Now there are other sources of lead as well, such as drinking water through plumbing. However, just so that you're aware, St. Joseph's, their water treatment facilities, they do check for lead in the water, and they are not finding lead in the water. So I believe that the lead is coming from the lead-based paint in the buildings. There are also additional sources, such as your job. If you are working with a lead smelter on the facility, you could be exposed to lead that way. Hobbies, such as making stained glass, use lead. Also pottery, different glazes can have lead in them. Older toys and furniture can have lead, and even some folk home remedies can have lead as well. So there's a couple of different sources of where this can be coming from. So why St. Joseph? Why am I talking to you about lead here in St. Joseph? 15% of children tested in St. Joseph have elevated blood lead levels. Now this is a really high percentage, especially considering 15% of children tested, not necessarily all children are tested. And also this information is coming from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, and this is based off of 2015-2016 data, this specific statistic of the 15% of children being exposed, having elevated blood lead levels. So also, St. Joseph's has a good amount of buildings that are pre-1978 buildings. So what is being done about it? What's happening? So St. Joseph's Health Department, they are investing in a lead education court educator, and her name is Carol Walter, and she's been in this position for about a year now, and she has a nursing background, and she performs functions such as going to children's homes that have elevated blood lead levels to try to help pinpoint where is this child being exposed, how are they being exposed. She will also partner with community organizations to further spread the word and help spread the word and find out more about lead. And she also does a lot of education and outreach as well. So for EPA, I also mentioned that we have a task force that Jim Gulliford put together. And the task force is broken into 3 different groups. We have a DIY group focusing on the folks that renovate their own homes, on how to do that properly to avoid lead exposure. We have a daycare group, since kids are the most vulnerable population to lead. And then we also have a general outreach group that is just trying to hit as many folks as possible. The other things that are being done, there is a federal law that mandates that landlords and also folks selling their homes, if they know about lead-based paint in their house or in the apartment, that they must tell the new tenant or the person purchasing the house, but also known lead-based paint or known lead hazards. So if they know about it, then they have to communicate it, but if they don't know, then they don't know as well. And so that can also lead to not necessarily wanting to dig into that to find out as well. So other things that are being done in regards to this, children that are on Medicaid before entering kindergarten are supposed to have to get a blood test to see if they have elevated blood lead levels. And also EPA offers a certification for renovators as well to show that they know how to deal with lead and they are lead safe. So why am I talking to you? What can you do about this? So if you look at the blue book, it will give you specific examples such as cleaning regularly and if you're renovating, taking precautions. I'll give you some higher level recommendations of things that you can consider. So you can definitely learn more about this, and if this applies to you. You can also have your home or your children tested for lead. Also, you can be lead safe, so take some of these different measures on how to be lead safe, and then also spread the word, let others know, since this is a big concern. Also, so I will be leaving you today with some resources. I will connect with the club leadership to provide these resources to you. So the blue book is available online, and so that is one of these resources that I will share. Also, Chip Gaines from the TV show Fixer Upper got in trouble with EPA for doing renovations that weren't lead safe, and so there was some legal issues with that. But out of that, Chip Gaines produced a short little video on how to be lead safe and how to renovate properly, and so that is also included in the resources. So thank you very much for your time today to listen to me speak to you about lead. This is a concern since it has so many different health issues for children and then also adults. So please consider looking more into this and protecting you and your loved ones from lead. Thank you.